On that morning, the sea did something it had never done before. It did not roar, it did not rise, it did not threaten. It simply left. Along the coastline, fishermen stood frozen, nets hanging loosely from their hands. The horizon looked wrong. The waterline had retreated so far that the familiar rhythm of the waves was gone, replaced by an unsettling silence. Boats rested awkwardly on wet sand. Rocks that had never seen daylight were suddenly exposed, glistening like ancient bones. For generations, the ocean had been constant. It breathed in and out with calm predictability. But on this day, it inhaled and never exhaled. This is not a legend. This is not a myth passed down through superstition. This is a documented, real event that occurred before one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. And for those who noticed the warning signs, the sea tried to speak. In many coastal cultures, elders taught that when the sea pulls back unnaturally far, it is not a gift, it is a warning. But modern life had dulled those instincts. Tourists stepped forward instead of running away. Children laughed and chased fish trapped on the sand. Cameras clicked. Videos were recorded. No one felt fear yet, because the sea was quiet. The earthquake that caused this began far beneath the ocean floor. Invisible and unfelt by most people on land, deep under the tectonic plates. Pressure that had been building for centuries finally released. The earth shifted violently, displacing billions of tons of seawater in seconds. But before the wave could rise, the water had to go somewhere first. So it pulled back in some places. The sea retreated hundreds of meters. In others, nearly a full kilometer. Coral reefs that normally sat meters underwater were suddenly exposed to open air. Fish flopped helplessly on the sand. The smell of salt and decay filled the air. Witnesses later described the moment as unreal. One man said it felt as if the ocean had been drained by an invisible hand. Another said the silence was worse than noise. No birds cried. No waves broke. Even the wind seemed to pause. On beaches across the region, people stepped closer to the waterline instead of further away. Some thought it was a rare natural phenomenon. Others believed it was safe. A few sensed something was wrong. It could not explain why. Then the sea came back, not as a wave, but as a wall. The returning water did not roll gently toward the shore. It raced. It rose. It grew taller as it moved, pulling debris, boats, and broken pieces of the seabed with it. By the time people realized what was happening, there was no time left. Eyewitness accounts describe below. Distant sound first, like thunder trapped inside the earth. Then a roar so loud it drowned out screams. The water advanced faster than a running human. Cars were lifted like ties. Concrete walls shattered. Entire buildings collapsed in seconds. In some coastal villages, the first wave was not even the largest. Survivors who fled uphill watched in disbelief as the sea withdrew again, only to return with even greater force. The ocean was breathing violently now, taking and taking, then returning only destruction. But this story is not only about what happened after. It is about what happened before. In one village, an elderly woman recognized the sign immediately. She had learned as a child that when the sea disappears, you run. She screamed for people to leave the beach. Some followed her, most did not. Those who ran survived. In another location, a school teacher remembered a lesson about tsunamis and ordered her students to flee inland. She did not stop to argue. She did not wait for confirmation. She trusted the knowledge she carried. Dozens of children lived because of that decision. Elsewhere, tourists stood ankle-deep on exposed seabeds, smiling for photos, unaware they were standing in the path of death. The sea had warned them, but they did not know how to listen. After the waves passed, the coastline was unrecognizable. Entire neighborhoods were erased. Boats set tangled in trees. Roads ended abruptly in empty space. The smell of salt water mixed with smoke and silence. Survivors wandered through the wreckage in shock, calling names that would never be answered. The ocean, once a source of life and livelihood, had become a mass grave. Scientists later explained the physics with precision. The earthquake, the displacement, the wave speed, the retreat of water, all of it made sense on paper. But no equation could fully explain their terror of watching the sea vanish, or the helplessness of realizing too late what it meant. What makes this event especially haunting is that it did not arrive without warning. The sea tried to speak first. It spoke in absence, in retreat, in silence. Today, warning systems exist, sirens, alerts, seismic monitoring. But even now, the first sign of a tsunami is often still the same. The sea pulling back unnaturally far. Technology can fail. Power can go out. But the ocean's behavior remains unchanged. Those who survived often say the same thing. If they could go back, they would never step closer when the water retreats. They would never treat silence as safety. Because when the sea disappears, it is not leaving. It is preparing to return. And when it does not come back empty-handed.